You felt it before. The way she glances your way, lingers a second too long and then looks away. You haven't said much, maybe nothing at all, yet something about your quiet pulls her in, stirs curiosity she can't explain. Why does your silence make her chase? Today, you're going to see the hidden force behind it and why it changes everything in how she sees you. Silence is not emptiness, it is gravity. Every word you withhold, every pause you command, creates a space, a vacuum she cannot resist filling. She senses it even before she can articulate it. Your quiet is not passive. It is deliberate. It is a signal. It is a presence that demands attention without demanding it. Think of the last time she lingered near you. Was it your charm, your humor? No. It was the way you existed without rushing to be noticed, without trying to prove your value. She felt a pull because you were a challenge, a mystery. In her mind, unanswered questions are magnets, and you are the force drawing her closer. Most men make the fatal mistake of talking to fill the air, of trying to impress, to entertain, to charm. But every word they speak is a confession that they need attention, that they must be seen. You are different. You do not chase validation. You do not shout for notice. You hold yourself still, and in that stillness she leans in. Her mind begins to chase before her body ever moves. She wonders, what is he thinking? Why does he remain so calm? Why does he not speak like the others? Every glance, every micro-expression, every subtle gesture she notices becomes a question in her mind. And questions are irresistible. You are like a shadow in a sunlit room. She cannot touch you. She cannot fully grasp you, yet she is drawn toward you, compelled to explore what you do not reveal. Silence is a canvas, and her imagination paints itself on it. She is the one moving, the one invested, the one chasing, and she does not even realize why. But here is the paradox. The more she chases, the less you act. The more you resist the impulse to explain yourself, to speak, to reveal, the stronger her pull becomes. The energy she invests grows, her curiosity deepens, her desire builds, and all of this is silent theater, orchestrated not with words, but with your presence. Notice it. The way she looks at you when you do not speak, when you hold your gaze, when your movements are measured. You do not have to do anything extraordinary. You do not need clever lines or bold gestures. You simply exist, controlled and composed, and she is drawn inexorably toward you. This is the principle that underpins the chase. Restraint is attraction. Calm is power. Silence is magnetic. Most men never discover it because they are terrified of stillness, terrified of being overlooked. But in truth, silence is the stage on which fascination is built. It is the unseen hand guiding her attention, shaping her pursuit, dictating the rhythm of her desire without ever touching it. Imagine her mind racing. She does not understand why she is drawn to you. Maybe she tries to rationalize it. Your eyes, your posture, your subtle confidence. But the truth is deeper. You have triggered something primal. Curiosity and desire are intertwined. When you withhold, she chases. When you act, she hesitates. And this is where the ordinary man fails. Most speak, gesture, perform, and in doing so they hand over control. You, however, remain the anchor in the storm. You are calm, you are quiet, and in your silence, she invests herself. Her mind spins scenarios. Her imagination runs wild. She begins to chase almost unconsciously, compelled not by what you do, but by what you do not do. Yet there is a deeper layer, a psychological truth that few men understand. Her pursuit is not about you alone. It is about the scarcity of your attention, the rarity of your calm, the subtle signals of mastery you broadcast without words. She chases because she senses competence. She chases because she senses control. She chases because, in your silence, she detects the strength she cannot name and the challenge she cannot resist. The more she invests, the more the chase escalates. Every glance she gives, every tentative approach she makes is amplified by your measured restraint. You are a quiet storm. She cannot predict you, she cannot tame you, and in that uncertainty her desire multiplies. You might think she is chasing because she wants you, but it is more than that. She is chasing because she must. The human mind is drawn to puzzles. She sees a man who does not yield, who does not seek her approval, and she becomes the seeker. The chase is a natural consequence of your presence, of your silence, of the unspoken power you wield without uttering a single word. Notice carefully how her eyes track your every motion. Notice the subtle shifts in her posture, the tiny hesitations, the moments where she leans in, as though pulled by an invisible force. You do not act, you do not speak, and yet she is moving, and she will continue to move until she uncovers what she subconsciously seeks. Your attention, your acknowledgement, or perhaps simply the thrill of the pursuit itself. But there is a danger here. A silent man can lose this effect if he does not understand the rhythm. Speak too soon, and the spell breaks. React too quickly, and the chase collapses. Patience is the currency of fascination. Your restraint is the spark, her pursuit is the fire, and this fire grows hotter with every measured pause, every withheld word, every silent gesture. By now you might be asking yourself, how far can this power go? How deep does her curiosity extend? And what happens when the chase reaches its peak? When she can no longer resist? These questions will not be answered immediately. They unfold slowly, deliberately, as you observe the dance she initiates without realizing it. And here lies the secret few men ever grasp. The chase is not created by talking. It is not created by showing, explaining, or performing. The chase is created by the absence, by what is withheld, by the calm, unshakable presence of a man who knows his own worth and refuses to sell it. Every woman who chases is, in essence, responding to this silent authority. Every glance, every step forward, every whispered thought in her mind is a reaction to the quiet mastery you embody. The less you give, the more she craves. The less you move, the more she pursues. And if you understand this rhythm, if you embody this principle, the chase becomes inevitable, natural, effortless, unstoppable. And yet, even as she moves closer, even as her attention intensifies, you do not rush. You do not reveal the depth of your power. You remain the silent observer. And it is in this stillness, this unspoken command of presence, that the true mystery resides. A mystery she will chase and chase again, because the answer is never fully revealed. You begin to notice something. The quieter you are, the louder her mind becomes. Her thoughts start to fill the silence you leave behind. She begins to analyze, to question, to interpret your stillness. Each pause becomes a mirror where she projects her own emotions, her own curiosity, her own desire. That's the first truth of your silence. It's not emptiness, it's a stage where her imagination performs. The second truth is darker. Your silence exposes her need for validation. The moment she senses your calm detachment, something within her wakes, a restless energy that whispers, "Why isn't he trying to impress me?" Most men feed that hunger instantly. They speak, they joke, they seek approval, hoping to earn what cannot be begged for: respect. But you remain composed. You are not rude, you are not cold, but you are selective. You choose your words as if each one costs something, and she feels that cost. Your silence becomes expensive, and in her mind, valuable. Watch her reactions, the slight lean forward, the soft laugh at something you didn't say, the way her energy reaches out while yours stays still. It's not dominance, it's gravity, invisible, undeniable, pulling her toward you, and in that absence she finds allure. Now contrast this with the man who speaks to be noticed. He fills every second with sound, nervous jokes, over-explained stories, exaggerated charm. The more he talks, the smaller his presence becomes. She hears him, but she doesn't feel him. Words without weight dissolve in the air. You, however, do not compete for air. You let silence sit between words like stone pillars holding the structure of your composure. She leans into those spaces, trying to decode you. And with every unanswered question, her intrigue deepens. But don't mistake silence for withdrawal. True silence is alive. It is not absence, it is control. It's the discipline to hold your ground without flinching under the pressure to perform. Every second you resist that pressure, your presence sharpens. You stop being just a man. You become a story she's desperate to read. Imagine this, a crowded evening. The music is low, conversations swirl around you. A woman stands across the room, surrounded by voices, but her attention keeps returning to you, the one man who isn't performing. You catch her glance, hold it for half a heartbeat, then look away as if her attention was expected, not won. That moment plants a seed, curiosity, wonder, desire. You did nothing, yet everything moved. That is the paradox of the silent man. He acts by not acting, and in doing so, shifts the entire emotional field around him. It's in that stillness she senses depth, the feeling that there's something behind your eyes that most will never touch. She wants to understand it. She wants to understand it, she wants to earn it, and so the chase begins again, quiet and invisible, powered not by your pursuit, but by her imagination. What drives her to chase is not arrogance, but uncertainty. The mind craves closure. It cannot rest with open loops. Your silence leaves questions unsolved, and the longer those questions stay unanswered, the stronger her attachment becomes. Each glance you return with measured calm tells her without words that you are not available to everyone. Your attention is selective, and the human mind values what is scarce. Understand this, every man competes for attention, but the silent man commands it. Competing is noise. Commanding is quiet. The first drains energy, the second creates it. And women, by instinct, gravitate toward the source of energy that doesn't seek validation. But here's the danger. Silence without inner strength becomes emptiness. If your quiet hides insecurity, she will sense it. Silence only works when it's anchored in conviction, in self-mastery. Otherwise, it crumbles under the weight of uncertainty. That's why true silence is rare. It's not the absence of speech. It's the presence of composure. When you can meet her eyes and remain unmoved, when you can listen without rushing to reply, when you can exist in the pause, she feels it. She feels safety and challenge at the same time. And that duality is intoxicating. She begins to chase not because she lacks options, but because she feels something in you that no one else gives her, stillness with depth. The modern world is filled with men who talk endlessly and mean nothing. You, by contrast, speak little and mean everything. Your silence makes her earn the connection, and in earning it, she values it. Every inch she moves closer feels like a victory. Every small reaction she draws from you feels like discovery. The chase becomes emotional, almost spiritual. But what happens when she finally reaches you? When the distance between curiosity and closeness disappears? That depends on your understanding of timing, on your ability to reveal just enough to keep the mystery alive. Because once mystery dies, so does pursuit. You might think the chase ends when she has your attention, but the truth is more complex. The chase only ends when her curiosity does, and curiosity can be eternal if you master the rhythm of revelation. Give her fragments, not the whole. Offer moments of warmth, then retreat into calm again. Keep her mind engaged, never satisfied. Remember, she isn't chasing words, she's chasing the feeling your silence gives her. The feeling of uncertainty, the thrill of decoding something sacred, the sense of standing before a man who cannot be fully known. Most will never understand how powerful this is, how silence becomes the purest form of presence. It speaks of confidence, restraint, and depth, all without a single sound. You don't need to sell yourself. You don't need to prove your worth. You simply are, and that is enough to make her move. But what if one day she stops chasing? What if the silence loses its hold? What if curiosity fades? Those are the moments that test your mastery, when you must decide whether to reveal more or vanish entirely, leaving her with a story that never finds its ending. Because sometimes the most unforgettable men are not the ones who spoke beautifully, but the ones who left her wondering forever what they might have said if they had chosen to speak. There comes a point when silence stops being a strategy and becomes an identity. You're no longer the quiet man. You are the man who doesn't need noise to exist. And that more than anything is what keeps her chasing, because she can feel the weight of your presence without needing your voice to confirm it. She'll sense it in the way you walk, calm, grounded, unrushed. The world may rush, but you do not. You move with the patience of someone who has nothing to prove. And patience, in a world addicted to attention, is the ultimate signal of power. The modern man speaks to escape his thoughts. The silent man faces them. He has wrestled with his own darkness long enough to no longer fear the void. That inner stability radiates. She may not understand it, but she feels it. It's the calm of a storm contained within a man. When you speak, it means something. Every word drops like a stone into still water, rippling with intention. She listens, not because your voice is loud, but because your silence before it was sacred. You've made sound precious again, and when sound becomes rare, attention becomes complete. But here's the paradox. The moment she feels safe in your quiet, she also feels challenged by it. Your stillness becomes a mirror reflecting her restlessness. She feels both drawn and exposed. That dual emotion, safety and tension, is what binds her. She cannot let go because you make her feel alive. And so she returns again and again, not to conquer you, but to understand you. Each interaction becomes a puzzle piece that almost fits, but never fully locks. She thinks she's close to knowing you, but then your silence deepens again, expanding the mystery. You never say, "I am different," you simply are. And she discovers that difference in the pauses, in the restraint, in the moments where every other man would try to fill the void. You don't. You stand within it. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You've learned that a man who needs to be understood too quickly becomes predictable. Predictability kills curiosity, and curiosity is the pulse of attraction. You let her feel the rhythm of discovery, slow, deliberate, timeless. You understand that what she chases is not control, but connection. And true connection is never forced. It's magnetism. It's the invisible pull between a woman's curiosity and a man's calm. The less you demand it, the more powerful it becomes. There will be times when she tests that silence, with questions, with provocations, with storms of emotion. She'll want to see if your calm can hold under pressure, and that's when most men break, explaining, defending, reacting. But not you. You don't meet chaos with chaos. You let her storm while your silence becomes shelter. You let her words pass through, and when the storm dies, she looks at you differently. Because in that moment, she didn't just see a man, she saw a pillar. Something immovable in a world that constantly shifts. That's the hidden core of the chase. Women don't chase silence, they chase stability. They chase the feeling that your quiet contains strength, not weakness. They chase the mystery of a man whose emotions don't rule him. And what happens when she catches you, when she begins to understand the rhythm behind your restraint? You reveal something unexpected. Silence was never about withholding. It was about clarity, about not giving energy to what doesn't deserve it. You show her that your stillness was never distance. It was focus. Focus on what matters, on purpose, on direction. You don't exist to be admired. You exist to move with meaning. That's when she stops chasing your silence and begins to respect your mission. Because the truth is, no woman truly chases a man forever. She chases what he represents. And when that representation becomes strength, peace, and certainty, she doesn't just want to be near it, she wants to be part of it. Your silence then becomes something greater than mystery. It becomes leadership without words. The quiet influence that shapes every room you enter, the composure that others borrow to steady themselves. And as time passes, the chase transforms. It's no longer about curiosity, it's about connection. The same silence that once confused her now comforts her. The same restraint that once pulled her in now protects her. She finally understands. Silence wasn't the absence of emotion, it was the mastery of it. The silent man isn't detached, he's disciplined. He feels deeply, but he's not enslaved by those feelings. He listens more than he speaks, not because he's shy, but because he values truth over noise. And in a world where everyone speaks to be heard, your silence becomes rebellion. A quiet revolt against superficiality, against the endless need for validation. It's the calm voice inside you saying, I don't need to prove myself to be powerful. That's what she feels. Not dominance, not control, but sovereignty. The rare sense of a man who owns himself completely. And it's that ownership that makes her chase. Not the silence itself, but the power it reveals. So remember this. A silent man without depth is just quiet, but a silent man with direction becomes unforgettable. Your silence isn't meant to cage emotion, it's meant to sharpen it. It's the pause between chaos and clarity, the breath before action, the discipline that turns impulse into intention. Every time you choose stillness over reaction, mystery over exposure, you remind her and yourself that power is not about noise. It's about control, and when you master that control, the world begins to respond differently. She chases not out of confusion, but respect. Others listen not out of curiosity, but trust. Because silence, when anchored in truth, doesn't just make women chase, it makes the world pause. And that pause is where your power lives.